Hello and welcome to Elo Health's Get Good Season 5 console playoffs. We're at the semi-finals, the Boosted Boys versus Oblivion, a fight to see who can make it to the grand finals. I will be your play-by-play caster, Belly. With me is Chef Billy on the color seat. And I mean, semi-finals should be one heck of a game for us to get into.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these are two very tested teams here in the EU region. On Xbox, I know a couple of the names from my previous league of CGL. So I think this is going to be a back and forth battle. We could go 5 maps. Kind of looking at Oblivion right now. They've got a couple of new additions to their team. So we're going to see what that does to their team compositions coming out. On the side of Boosted Boys, though, looks like they have a really good set amount of players on their team. Manic being one of the more premier DPS in the EU region. So we're going to see if he and Resurrections can really set the pace for Boosted Boys, or will Oblivion come out on top? But we're going to get into it here very shortly in our first of 3 semifinals match.
Absolutely, and it's a thing of naturally we're hoping to get a 5 mapping because that means we get a very nice and close game. And while you also have the composition things that you need to worry about for Oblivion if you're running a few new players, you've also got that team synergy that if you've played together with a team for longer, that you might be missing out on. So that is absolutely a thing to keep in mind for the team, which is currently in red, though throughout the evening this may obviously change. It's also going to be Lijiang Tower as the first control map. Always a fun one to start it out on, I'd say.
Absolutely. And I was looking in the Twitch chat before we came on air and just talking with some of the players that were in there. And looks like they have been doing quite a bit of scrimming on the side of Oblivion. So they may have been working on that team synergy as they were approaching the semifinal match. So Lijiang Tower, always a favorite starting point on control. I love the dichotomy of all the different compositions that you can run. It just depends on which map we get first. I'm kind of hoping that we get to see Gardens first, because that's kind of the outlier of these outlier maps that are control. Because you can run Dive, you can run Ryan Zarya, you can run a little bit of Poke. It just depends on how you want to aggress on the point. So I'm really excited to see where we go first on Lijiang.
That is always the question. Honestly, my personal favorite is Control Center because I'm a Ryan main and I like swinging a hammer in close quarters. So that's just the quick summary of Control Center. Just get into the hallways and batter everyone around. Naturally, this is always gonna be a bit different on a console, which so far I had at the very least the honor of being led through the console scene by people like Billy and Ocean, who've been very kind to me and letting me get away with many of my verbal mistakes of picking up some PC commentary. So I do apologize once again for when those come out. But yes, Legion Tower Control Center, we've already also talked about Gardens a bit. I would like to see the dive coming out, Farm Mercy as well, as always fun. And then you've got Night Market, which also provides for some interesting strategies most of the time.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, you all generally see a lot of Symmetra play, especially on console. So, when we go to there, if we go there, you are definitely going to see a Symmetra strat coming out, unless they decide to pull a Lucio and try to pull a fast one. No pun intended there on it, as they try to aggress and instead use speed to get to the point and have that consistent speed from a Lucio going there. And that lends itself once again to, the double shielding again. It's just, Brigbap seems to be the most on meta healer core right now, and bringing these outliers in these control maps brings a little bit of freshness into a stagnation of the game that's kind of really settled into this double shield meta. I love to see when players and teams have the willingness to change it up a little bit, even if it's just for a singular map or even just for a portion of the map to give a team a different look. It adds so much spice, and it also gets into that mental warfare that we do see a lot in these playoff games. And, you were talking about the mismatch or the misspoken words or terms. I had to learn what pressing Q means and WM1, so I know exactly what you mean. So now we're coming back to my neck of the woods, and I'm like, yeah, now I get to say the stuff that I know. Press one.
back to home base. I mean, it's a thing of like at the moment you do indeed have that double shield, that Batiste, Brigitte, and what then becomes a thing as well. Like for example, there was some open division going on earlier, and naturally there's going to be a lot of meta. So what you get as meta there is indeed a double shield, the Ashe Genji, the Batiste Brigitte coming on that. But then you get like indeed these outliers that play, say, a Torbjorn as opposed to the Ashe, say something like that. Like tweak it just ever so slightly, and that caught me a bit off guard, and in a positive way, where it just kind of feels like you're playing to your own strengths. Of like maybe we don't have the strongest Ashe player. That can happen. But then you've got somebody who could play the other DPS way better, and then you build a composition around that. Like I want to see that coming on through, and we're going to be waiting on whether these teams were going to be doing that or going to be more tried and true, and having trained that here in Lijiang Tower Night Market, which is going to be our first map.
Yep, I'm expecting to see the Symmetras come out. I'm expecting to see double shield, maybe with the Rhine variant instead of the Sigma for the pinability, especially on the point, having the charge, having the shatter in such close quarters, also being allowed to just swing your hammer with impunity could be something that we're really going to be focusing on here. But we need to see what the teams are going to come out with. Looking at the side from Oblivion, they are going to be in the red jerseys here this afternoon, evening in EU. Looks like they're going to bring out the, as it looks, it's starting to look like the standard meta comp on the other side for boosted boys. They're going to bring out most of the standard meta, but their DPS is going to be a little bit different, so they may swap over in the interim, Belly.
Absolutely, and now indeed, as the doors unlock, we do see some double show coming out. I'm spotting a Far Mercy. On the other side, we've got a Reinhardt and one player that has not picked anything up yet. I'm seeing also a player dropping off the map, so I get the feeling, and this is gonna be a bit of a false start here. Yes, that is indeed gonna be a pause. Seems to be some small issues here, so we're gonna make sure that this all gets sorted out so that we actually get to see some Overwatch coming out. Though this does give us a bit of an idea of what we might be seeing soon. Double shield with the McCree, Far Mercy on the other side. I mean, that's a bit of a question because you lost one player, so maybe they've not really been picking, their actual picks. Though I would like to see that Reinhardt coming on through. And the Tracer pick, also an interesting one. Not going to have it easy versus a McCree and a Far Mercy.
No, indeed not. I mean, Flashbang automatically cancels what Tracer likes to do. And then the poke damage coming from Manic, should they decide to stay on the Pharah, is going to be something that Mystic would have to weave and wobble their way through. But that being said, it could provide the kind of damage that you are looking for coming from the outside, as I guess this is going to be a true start here. So, yeah, a bit of a scuff start here. Looking like maybe we had a connection issue, but they're on the point, and here we go.
On the point, and here we go, and 2 picks are ready for Oblivion, who were kind of on the back foot here as they had already lost 2 players just by way of a disconnect, but they don't seem to care and are kind of running away with it. The Pharah from Boosted Boy is still trying to get something done. Oblivion are going to pick up a point first.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a really late stagger kill onto Lynx on the Ashe, so the hit scan ability of the Viper gun gone for right now. Mystic's going to have to do their best to harass the Fire Mercy combo. I think just watching your flanks and just really avoiding the poke damage coming in from Manic, who is 94% to the first barrage. This is going to be a battle here, DPS versus Pharah. Who's going to win out, Belly?
That's going to be the question that is going to be on everyone's head. It's going to be a Shadow actually coming on through. Nobody really getting hit by it. The 1 pick has been gotten by the McCree of the Boosted Boys. So once again, Oblivion, or actually Oblivion now with a bit of a detriment here in this fight. The Boiis is raining from above, and that's 3 kills. And that is going to be where the value comes on in for the Boosted Boys, and a quick flip in their favor.
Yeah, absolutely. And the reason why that worked so well is that Xarabu had to put out the immortality barrier early in the fight from the poke damage coming from Mannequin and the resonations on the flank, getting a lot of value on the McCree, just poking in damage from the sides. The Shatter did not land from Brenolad, and that's a part of the reason why that move was so successful.
As the recontest comes on through, the Reinhardt indeed from Bernalad going aggressive, going a bit too aggressive, especially with that amplification matrix. So much damage potential coming on through. It forces Oblivion already out. Cleanse Call, though, gets a nice boop onto a hero picks. Now, no extra damage boost available for the Pharah. That hero is definitely gonna be suffering from it. Mine's gonna be used straight up on the middle of the point. A lot of headshots coming in from the McCree of Oblivion. That is 2, 3, 4 kills with the Bob as well to clear it on out. And just at the 47% mark, that's Oblivion flipping it back.
Yeah, I think I would have kept Bob in the back pocket if you're Lynx. You had that available. You'd already won the fight. I don't think the committal of that into it was really necessary. But, making sure that they got the point, making sure that they got the flip that they needed. KJ Naga is going to have the rally to keep them up through this next fight. But you're going into Supercharger and Gravitic Flux, respectively. But that is a big self-kill there with the Rockets. Res coming through, though, Belly.
Apparently, Building is still the strongest tank in the game. Panic there to prove it. The Gravitic Flux comes on through. The Pharah has gotten rezzed up while this was going on. Got the Hammond is kind of being a nuisance in the backline, but is going to get punished for it. So Clem's Cole is now out. And with that Supercharger that you mentioned before, is going to get answered by an Amplification Matrix. But Manic looking to get the flank on in. The Pharah coming in on point. Another barrage, another 3 kill. And that is Manic clearing it out once again for the Boosted Boys. It's now 99% for Oblivion, but the Boosted Boys pick it back.
Absolutely, and coming into this next fight, I mean, that cost them 3 ultimates right there. That was Barrage, that was your Supercharger, and your Gravitic Flux. So really, Resonation's Deadeye is going to be really the only thing to stop them. You do have the Amp Matrix available from Gregolas, so that will be a deterrent for them as well. Clem's Cole just getting a little bit of trying to pull out the Amp Matrix. He does do so, and the Shatter comes in from Brinolad. Doesn't catch anybody.
Doesn't catch anybody, but the DPS for the Boosted Boys are catching everything. That is 4 kills in favor of the blue team, and Oblivion once again a forced reset by way of a bullet to the skull.
Yeah, and I mean, even with the rally pop there from Naga, not enough to keep the team up, and the Immortality Field had to come out so early from Rabu, as they just got swarmed upon. And now Resonations has their own Deadeye still available. Mystic with a nice headshot onto Manic, and I don't know if the Res is going to be able to come through.
It's going to be Mines, and the High Noon also denied. Overtime Wick is there, but the flip comes on through. Question is, will any one of Boosted Boys be able to even touch? It doesn't look like it will be. So that'll be Oblivion picking up Night Market in this first map here of Lijiang Tower.
That was a battle of attrition and waiting out ultimates and pulling out ultimates. And Clem's Cole doing that little drive-by shooting that he did, pulled out the Amp Matrix of Gregolas, and they didn't have that available when the core of Oblivion came onto the point to retake it, negating Resonation's Deadeye, absolutely sealing the deal there. Also, the mines from Clem's Cole. He's putting a lot of really good work in on this Wrecking Ball. And here, as we come to Gardens, looks like we are going to see the dive coming out from Boosted Boys. You were looking forward to this, and they are going to keep running the Pharmacy into it.
The dive indeed coming on, and a Pharmacy as well up in the sky. So there's going to be a lot of different players that you're going to be dealing with from a lot of different angles. Oblivion also still having Clem's Call on the Hammond coming on through. Brinolad has swapped over to the Arisa. It's going to be through White Room, where they're going to be heading on over to the point where the fight will break on out. Clem's Call with a pile driver to open up this fight. Both of the tanks for the Boosted Boys dropping low, dropping dead. However, the DPS for the blue team is chunking out damage. And as Clem's Cole is just trying to bring this one on back, it doesn't seem to be enough. And with the res, that will be Boosted Boys taking up this point early.
Yep, and it's just the combined dive focus that's coming from Ninja and Stars. And then Manic with the Pharmacy pocket just laying in so much poke damage from range. We're looking at, they're ignoring each other in the sky, our Mystic and Manic. I think that Lynx has got the most difficult job right now. He's going to have to find a way to take down the Pharmacy combo. I think you got to focus out that Mercy first. and then put your eyes onto Manic. But they're both building very quickly to barrages, so I think that we're going to have that aerial duel that we're speaking of.
Duel potential is very much very high, as AV is just trying to get to the backline, trying to take care of this. McCree does use the flashback, but once again Manic with the barrage, picking up 2, clearing up the fight for the blue team, and really making it difficult for Oblivion to really get a foothold on the point.
Absolutely, and it looks like Resignations is actually on McCree duty. Every time that Lynx is getting into position and starting to lay in shots onto Manic and Gregolas, you see Resignations come around and blink into his LOS and just start peppering him with their blaster and pulse bomb ready. So I think that you're going to have to watch out if you're Lynx, maybe a flashbang when they let that loose, and get them before they can do their rewind.
Boiis once again with a dive. KJ Naga getting taken out. And Boop on the div is not enough, but Lynx now with a double. That might be the opening that Oblivion is looking for, and they need it because we are heading into last fight territory. Pulse bomb onto V Mystic, onto the Pharah. It's a huge play as the Star also loses Mech. This is looking like Oblivion will finally start flipping this point, but not after giving up about 95% on this counter. And Boiis still trying to clear this one out, getting that to 99. So they only need one fight win guaranteed to pick this one up.
Yeah, and I think the reason why this has worked in the favor of Oblivion, even though they have a very daunting task to try and get this back to 100 to 100%, Brenolad switching over to the Winston. So now that is in play. Also, Naga has gone over to the Moira, so you're going to have that not only aerial potential with the grasp that she has, but also the healing is going to be huge coming out of her.
It's going to be Sam Barrett to just get the aggression on in, and it's going to pay off with an early opening pick and a bomb picking up both of the supports of Oblivion. Star with a huge play there that the barrage from V Mystic is just not going to be enough either. Brenolad gets booped off, does not get the jump in time, as it's just going to be a Diva Bomb to try and get back in Mech, but Clem's Call just gets taken out. So no re-mech that's going to be available. Now it's going to be stagger picks for Oblivion to just only try to get back to the point with those picks coming in one by one. This is going to be one hefty fight for Oblivion to still try and bring back. The barrage gets denied though. Manning gets taken out. As Rabu also gets a trade onto Lucio, but as Star is once again just picking up all of this damage, picking up all of these kills. It's looking like it's going to be rough here though. As I say that, Oblivion picking up a few more, trying to clear this one on out. Once again, the stagger picks coming in. Xrabble with 2 more. The Lucio just being the killer support. And Oblivion flips it back.
I mean, that was a chaotic fight if I ever saw one. I think the biggest thing that we saw out of that fight was Brenolad finally getting that primal rage up and absolutely decimating the healer core of Boosted Boy. So now you've got a lot of working parts here. The full dive going on, except with the legs being locked in by Mystic. I think to take care of Manic in the sky, you've got to really focus down that part because they're getting so much value.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to if you are back in spawn. Mystic already getting taken out. Boosted Boy is doing very well at this cleanup. Rez has also come on through on SF Ninja, who picks up a double in this fight as well. Once again, the Boosted Boys managed to get the flip, but Oblivion has been able to bring this point back from the brink of defeat once already.
Oh no!
Again, but with these picks here and with the boop from Hero Picks as well, that's going to be a very, very difficult fight to keep on holding. Primal Rage comes through, pulls out the sound barrier as well. The Winston is going to take a whole chunk of damage. Brenolad dropping so excessively low, finally gets taken out. Somehow Oblivion is still contesting this point with whatever they've got. A pulse bomb comes on through, will not find anything, but still the players from Oblivion will keep making it back to point. And as the Hammond is going to be booping the enemy team around, the barrage comes on through. That will be a clear out, and Boosted Boys pick up the second round, leaving Tower, bringing us to Control Center to clear it out.
Oh my goodness, that was chaos. That was some tenacity being shown by Oblivion there, never wanting to let go, and they were actually on the right foot. I think that once again, the ultimate economy that you saw from Boosted Boys, just that much in their favor, allowing them to clear the point finally, and a couple of very opportune boops from hero picks, sealing the deal. And so here we come into Control Center. You wanted to see this. We wanted to see Brawl. I think you're going to get it at least from the side from Boosted Boys. However, looking like we're going to go back to this Orisa Ball comp with the Genji Tracer.
Oblivion seems to be feeling very comfortable with this composition, this tank lineup at the very least, but Boosted Boys with a very standard Brawl, as you mentioned, coming on through. That Maywall is going to be very difficult to deal with, as Xrabu already drops Brendalat the next to go, so you lose out on your main shield, you lose out on a fair chunk of AoE healing, as KJ has also been forced to pull out the mortality field here. Oblivion still with a few players left, but are forced to give this point up early, though as I say that, once again, these staggers coming on in. KJ does get taken out. Coalescence already gets popped here for the offense of Boosted Boys, who now have control of the point, so Oblivion forced to pull back.
Indeed, and looking at Lynx is in their back line, kind of stuck and dealing with people as they come out of spawn. You know, this is going to be huge. The stagger kills, they're not going to really have anything to counter that. I mean, you had the flashbang of McCree, but now the fight breaking out here, using that Mei to perfect advantage. Blizzard already gained, so they're going to be able to stop them in their tracks. And we see KJ and Naga go over to the Ana. So now we're going to be looking at anti-nades into the boot. We're also looking at they're probably going to save the nano boost for a blade. But 35% already gained. A couple of swaps coming here, Belly, and we're looking to see how are they going to aggress into this.
Boosted Boys are going to aggress with that Blizzard that you mentioned before. KJ Naga already taken out. The blade comes through without the nano, doesn't find anything but death. Both of the tanks, though, from Oblivion tried to get some work done here, and somehow, even when behind, they are not out. The mines are still on point. Clem's Cole is looking to bring this point in their favor, gets another kill, looking for that final one, Namora, and honestly, kind of solo manages to flip this point around.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is what you like to see from your tank line. Just never say die attitude coming from both of them. But I mean, the freezability of Manic on the Mei is what's really going to turn this fight around, I believe.
With the Pulse Bomb onto hero picks, it doesn't look like it will be enough once again for Oblivion. 67% on the counter. Oblivion once again forced to pull back.
Indeed, and I mean, I didn't see the blade come out. I think that he got denied right as he pulled the katana out of the sheath. So Naga does have the nano boost available, and you know, we're crossing 80%, so we're coming up pretty close on last fight territory. Breno and Clem switching over to a Ryan Zarya of their own starts. It's going to have Gravitic or the Graviton Surge. That's what we have to look out for this fight.
And the Grav comes on through the Sand Barrier as well to just be able to aggress in. The nano comes onto the McCree, however, even with that, drops quite low. KJ on the floor by way of a shatter. That will be the Boosted Boys rolling through Oblivion. And that is going to be the Boosted Boys also picking up Lijiang Tower in their favor after picking up these final stragglers who are just trying to contest the point. But it doesn't look like that will be enough. Overtime Wick burns down the wall to deny any sort of recontest. Boosted Boys pick up their first point in the semi-final series.
Yeah, I mean, that was a tale of three maps, wasn't it, Belly? As we saw Oblivion really take it to the Boosted Boys on the first map at Night Market, and then it became the Manic show after that. A lot of work being done here on this Pharah. They really didn't have an answer for said Pharah. So, I mean, they're going to have to watch out as they progress through these maps in our semifinal here in GGEU Season 5. It's going to be a back and forth battle, I believe. The Control is the outlier of all the maps. Now we're going to see, what map is Oblivion going to choose, and what is Boosted Boys' choice of attack or defense going to be. I think that's going to set up what kind of compositions we're going to be seeing from them.
Absolutely. So, taking a peek at the information that the teams have given us, seeing as Oblivion, as you mentioned, get to pick the next map first, which should be an escort map, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
The preferred map for Oblivion is Junkertown, while on the other side, we've got Rialto filled out. So, both fairly open maps, though Junkertown definitely one with some extremely long sidelines. If Junkertown comes on out, or let's put it like this. How do you feel like this would affect both of these teams when it comes to what they would prefer to play, judging from those map decisions, map choices?
I mean, Oblivion, if they're choosing Junkertown, I think that they have the sniper on lock. I'm not sure how Mystic's Widowmaker is, as I've not seen them play as of yet. But they felt very secure on the Ash. So basing it off the Ash play, being able to take the far out of the sky a couple of times, also, with the McCree, the hit scan there. I think that would be the natural choice for them if they do decide to go with the sniper, if they do decide to go to Junkertown. On the other side, Manic, I think the Pharah can still be a pretty good pick on point A of Junkertown, should that be the map that they have. And Resurrections, I think would be a logical choice for Widowmaker. You just have to worry about, is there going to be enough damage coming out from that duo? Man, it just really. The other one was Rialto.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at what we saw from Clem's Cole on the off tank on the Wrecking Ball, you will probably get a lot of value, a lot of environmental boop ability going across the bridge there on first point. I really did like Brinolad's Orisa. I just think that they're the healer core of Exarabu, and we had KJ Naga in there, but now apparently is out of the lobby. So we'll see who will come in for that. Looks like it's gonna be Mellow Bello coming in on the healer core. So I think that keeping up your tanks really needs to be the focus for what Oblivion's doing. I think they got a little bit cut off from their tank line at times, both because of the pressure coming from Manic on that Pharah, and then on the May, obviously literally walling them off, and then Resurrections just getting so much value on the heroes that they were picking in those previous maps. I think that's where we're gonna have to look is Rabu and now ER going to be able to keep up the tank line of Oblivion, or is Boosted Boys going to have a nice run here?
Absolutely. Indeed, some swaps are coming on out. Clem's Cole, the Hammond player, is indeed now off of the roster for this next map. Mellow Bello has come on in on the tank role. ER is in for the support line. And if I look at the information we've got for that, ER indeed an Ana player, Mellow Bello, Diva, Zarya, or Orisa. With Brinolat, unfortunately, we've got some less information, though we've seen indeed the main tank coming out. So potentially there are some dive ideas, potentially there are some Ryan Zarya plans, but there's absolutely some plans here for Oblivion that they've swapped their team members out of. We've also already gotten confirmed that it will indeed be Junkertown coming out for the next map. So we will potentially see those long-range sites coming in by way of the Widow, Hanzo, or Ashe. So that should be an interesting matchup here.
It should be, and I'm looking to see, will they bring out Double Shield? Double Shield is so effective at stopping the progress of payload here on first point, as long as you set yourself in the right positions, holding below the second bridge as you come around the corner. That is a very traditional spot to really plant your feet and make your stand, as it were. It's really going to come down to, will they bring out snipers? Are we going to get a Widow 1v1 duel? What kind of poke damage can you get in on the shielding of the defense? And really the mobility. Will we see Lucio come out once again?
That is absolutely going to be a question, because the Baptiste Brig has been such a set support lineup at the moment. If you have the Ana, I apologize, I've got a cat on my desk who's not allowed on my desk. Ruby, I know there's a fly around. No. If you've got the support lineup, you've got the Ana that ER might be pulling on out. And with that, indeed, Lucio would be a good pick to keep the Ana safe, to be able to speed the Ana away from danger where needed. So that could absolutely be a thing that might be coming on out.
Indeed. And what we saw a lot, and I think the reason why Rabu had to switch off of the Baptiste is that Manic's Pharah kept really targeting the immortality field. Every time that came out, it seems like Manic was the one to take it down almost as soon as it came up. So I think better positioning from the immortality field, that's probably priority one if you're going to run that. Second thing is you've got to deal with the Pharah in the sky. Manic really showing a lot of range on the Pharah. Nice positioning, nice escapability as well. So, we'll see what we see when Junkertown, when we actually go into the map. But I mean, the unsung hero right now for the match so far is the tank line of Boosted Boys, willing to swap main tank and off tank almost on a dime, depending on what they're seeing coming out of Oblivion. And I see nothing to suggest that that's not going to change here.
I mean, that's if I may point this out, the thing that I've been seeing at the very least, indeed, for console a fair amount of time, has been the flexibility of teams to be able to swap out the roles a fair amount of times. It's been an interesting thing that on PC, indeed, you don't see that much happening. You really have the people playing on their role, but on console, it seems to be a lot more flexible when it comes to that. And how does this really affect how the teams might play around this? Like, do you feel like that might be a detriment if you're being more flexible, so less specialized, or do you think this would be good?
I mean, in the upper echelons of the Xbox scene, at least, main tanks are expected to play at least 3. That's something that's been very dominant in our scene. You do have honestly specialists that just focus on one hero.
Well, if I may interject very quickly, I'm primarily also talking about like actually swapping off of their role, like going from tank to support or even DPS.
Yeah, that I don't understand that very much.
Okay.
We do have true flexes, those that play all 3 roles at a very high level. I just don't know how many hours in the day they have, because I don't have enough hours to get that good on all those roles. So I think that their game sense that they have really pulls them through and allows them to flex to all 3 roles. That's something that is still a bit of a head scratcher to me personally, but it does lend itself to a lot of variability. I mean, there may be some certain maps that you may be more comfortable playing let's say a hit scan on, and then somebody can't play a Sigma, but you can, so you can flex to that. And I mean, that's what a lot of these teams, that's what a lot of players on console do. And I think it's also the fact that we can have so many accounts on console that you can actually have a DPS only account, you can have a tank only account, you can have a support only account, and that's why you see that's why smurfing is such a big issue in the console scene. It's something that a lot of people don't like to talk about, but I do. I think it's horrible. But yeah,
that's very fair.
Yeah, so that's why I think you can see so much flexibility coming from a lot of these players.
I mean, it's very interesting for me to see, because it is indeed a bit more reminiscent of to say the olden days, judging from the 4-year-old game, and to say the olden days, but before 222, where you had an icon for flex players, which has since disappeared with 222 lock. Boosted Boys going indeed for some more long range, even though they did not pick the map. If Oblivion keep on going through with this with the more standard meta, I honestly kind of find that interesting, seeing as this was their preferred map to play on. And honestly, indeed, you'd figure that those long ranges would be why they would prefer it.
And I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking about. The standard meta that you see come out from 90% of the teams. There are variations that are allowed to be put in there, especially on console, because you don't have the same preciseness of a mouse. You're working the sticks here, and so there may be opportunities that we have on sticks that you don't have on PC, and also the thumb flexibility that we have to have. Sometimes you can't get the same movements that you see coming out on PC. And that's why you see certain compositions work on console that you wouldn't think would work on PC.
Yes, and now indeed with Oblivion taking their aggression into this fight, having to still play safe a bit. AZ indeed taking a fair chunk of damage, dropping quite low, managing to get out with their life. Oblivion taking also a fair chunk of damage. Boosted Boys taking some very good control and very good positioning, as Brindalad is a bit out of position away from the team. Field gets forced out, and Lynx from the side just manages to pick up Manic. If Oblivion now manages to get back fast enough, no, actually, I stand corrected. The rest comes on through, so that will once again be a 6v6 fight.
Indeed, and that's the beauty of being able to run a Mercy here on Junkertown, is that you do have that res ability. It's basically a 7v6. If you throw the Bob into the mix too, it's an 8v7. Yeah, it's going to be a back and forth fight. You know, you've got to focus down the Mercy, and she is just playing so hard to get right now. And the damage being put out by Boosted Boiis, it's starting to be met. The immortality barrier is what is really allowing them. This amp matrix could be huge.
And it's starting to be met. Link's also putting that extra player on the board by way of the Bob, the mechanical butler, coming in for this fight. AZ does manage to pick up 1 kill. However, the question is going to be whether the recontest will come on through. That will, with the halt and a Gravitic Flux. 2 players up into the air, and Brutality Field gets forced out. Supercharger comes in from Oblivion, though. Malabella will pick up the kill because of it, with that extra damage coming on through, with another pick here for the team in red. It looks like this attack will start to clear out. It does force out another Gravitic Flux here and another ultimate for Oblivion. So you do manage to drain some resources, but Oblivion managed to pick up the first checkpoint.
Absolutely, and you know, the second Gravitic Flux generally wins, and Mellow Bellow laying theirs in there into a little bit last of that fight. You know, you are getting the rally up in the middle of that fight. That is going to be huge going through this streets phase, but you're going to have to watch out where Resurrections is at, as he has a high ground advantage, and he's going to be able to rain storm arrows and arrows down onto the unwitting heads of Oblivion as they try to go through the streets phase here. Supercharger and Bob available to Boosted Boiis.
Oblivion now trying to take this attack, pulling out the blade as the Supercharger comes down. Immortality Field denies a lot of that value, so now V Mystic gets taken out. Nothing gotten for that blade. That is not what you want to be seeing, and now Star is now pushing in onto the tank line of Oblivion. The red team forced to just go back ever so slightly. A nice shield to deny that accretion coming on through, and as AV takes a quick headshot with the arrow to Lynx. And Oblivion once again forced in an unfavorable position, as this Sigma fight in this hallway is still going on.
Yeah, and it's taking a lot of the impetus of the push from Oblivion, as they are just kind of stalled out here. You know, the high ground being held by not only Manic and AZ, but also Ninja on the Orisa. Getting a lot of value from this upper perch, and once again, here comes that res through again to equal the battlefield out. And you know, this is a reset of the soft sort coming from Oblivion.
And 2.5 minutes to go, and indeed Oblivion has to wait for the rest of their players to come in through. The storm arrows from this Hanzo really proving to be difficult to deal with when not properly negated by your team.
Absolutely, and we see Mystic bring out a Hanzo of his own now, so we've got double sniper competitions coming out from both sides. That is an Amp Matrix into a very small room, and the dragons are leashed, but not really much value. They actually survived that. I don't know how they got out of there.
Dragon just a bit too high, does not manage to hit the people as they go down the stairs. However, even without a dragon, the Boosted Boiis are still going ham here onto the team of Oblivion, as we now reach below 2 minutes to go. Oblivion not really finding their positioning or rotation for this attack.
Indeed, and I think, you know, they were trying to use the interior of the second point here to kind of get around and up on them. But I think for the time being, they're just going to have to kind of patiently path their way through. I think that Lynx's little flank here is going to be huge, throwing Bob into it.
Bob indeed coming in. Lynx picking up 1-2. Looking to get that third one. Bob does get taken out. However, it does seem like the damage has already been done, as the dueling Bobs are now dealt with. Boosted Boiis with only 4 players left, and Lynx is still in the backline just chunking down damage. It's just a matter of time before this payload starts moving again.
Absolutely, that was a huge flank that Lynxy did there, and absolutely enabling Oblivion to take control, take the high ground from Boosted Boiis, and you know, there's going to be a last minute recontest, I do believe. Oh no, they got the point. Just a little. That is
painful.
That is painful, and now, you know, there could be the ability for staggering and getting a lot of payload push here if they play their cards right.
That is where you want to be coming from. You want to try to get the stackers, but a very good group up from the Boosted Boiis is going to make sure that Oblivion does not get those late picks off.
Ultimate advantage is definitely in favor of the boosted boys right now. The DPS duo of Resurrections and Manic absolutely putting on a clinic of how to aggress and how to get people out of position. Amp Matrix going to be invested here by Gregolas, so that's going to take shielding down solo. Just a soft reset from them to stay away from the aggression that's being shown.
Need Oblivion and taking the space around, or to freeze release the tank line. We're gonna get taken out as well late here. Trying to get back to the rest of the team, so that is some ultimate efficiency coming in here for the boosted boy.
Absolutely, and looking at Gregolas, got a lot of value out of that Amp Matrix and it's really denied any sort of progress being made on the payload. However, looking now on the side of Oblivion, you do have Supercharger and Dragons. So one might be for the zoning, one might be for the pure damage coming out.
Boosted boys taking some nice spread positioning here. We've got a Star who's on the high ground, gets booped out. Dragon to split off the front line. Both of the tanks now without the rest of the team. Gravitic Flux does get used. A few players up into the air, and that is 2 picks in favor of the defense. Even if Linksy is trying to get that damage done, it does not seem to be enough. There is a Bob in the backline that is still running out some damage as well. Linksy once again picking up 2, but eventually gonna get taken out. The Ash is not enough to clear this full team.
Absolutely, and I think that right now you either need to bring in maybe Genji to do some deflections, get in and get some real harassment into the back line of boosted boys, or you've got to get your positioning down just right and start getting those one-shot hits. Dragons are going to be coming across the point. Flux put into the mix, not getting a lot of value out of it, but the point is being pushed as we speak, Belly.
Gregolas gets taken out, so you lose a lot of AoE healing for this fight, as well as also that Immortality Field. Supercharger comes on down for both sides, as we see a checkerboard of deaths in the kill feed going one way, then going the next. However, the defensive side does have the spawn advantage, so these extra players can be coming in, as we see from the Immortality Field getting put down, as the Patisse has managed to get back, and with that, the payload gets halted just ever so slightly shy of that full push.
We put a lot of emphasis on Manic and the Ash play that they were doing, but Resurrections coming alive with the Archer here in Junkertown, getting a 3-piece there at the end, really stabilizing the team in the end. I thought that the Supercharger coming out from Brinolad was going to clean everybody out, but a dome shot to Mellow Bellow, taking that extra shielding out, and everything just crumbled once Sigma's shield and abilities were taken off the board. So win condition set here, Belly. 89.51 meters is all that boosted boys need to go up 2-0 here in our semifinal.
I mean, it is not the easiest task. Getting those final pushes on both escort and hybrid maps, it tends to be where the challenge really comes in. So boosted boys still have got a fair bit of fight ahead of them. Oblivion pulling at the Mei though for their defense. Other than that, a very standard double shield composition, but this Mei pick is a bit of an outlier. That could be the difference maker here for the team in red.
I mean, I like the pick here. The CC ability, obviously freezing Blizzard, game-changing ult. So this is going to be a bit different than what we normally see. Also, depending on how good Mystic is with the icicles, there's the dome shot potential as well. I think that you're using it for the wall, and I think that you're using it for the freezing of the enemy. So we shall see how good this pick will be.
Well, that's the question. The wall has already been used and taken away, so Oblivion now already at the point where they kind of need to play this a bit more safely. They cannot take that aggressive angle that they were initially looking for, and AZ just gets an arrow to the skull of the Mystic. There's no ice walls gonna be used up anytime soon, and now as the Hanzo is just tearing through the enemy team, getting all of that nice damage done, as the boosted boys are managing to, at the very least, get this payload rolling.
I mean, the stall was real there for a second, and they did take, 45 seconds off the clock as far as progress. So, do you swap heroes now? Yes, you do. V-Mystic now going over to the Hanzo, so we're going to have mirror compositions here, except for hero picks being on this Mercy, giving the damage boost to Resurrections, and maybe enabling some body shot kills coming in from the Archer. I think that they did what they needed to do with the May. They got enough of the progress stalled, halted that they wanted, but now the ultimate deficit between the between.
Woo! Okay, Oblivion just got destroyed. Everyone was low, and one dynamite was enough to just blast the red team apart. That's happened in a blink of an eye.
What a halt from Ninja coming in there to set that up. And the arrows were also brought out, or the dragons were also brought out into that fight by Resurrection. So that is not going to be available. However, Res does come through as Resurrections took a headshot from Linksy. And the defense, they're going to have to make their stand here.
I mean, they are starting to open it up with an early pick onto SF Ninja. Now Orisa available, so Boosted Boys already trying to take that more defensive positioning, but V Mystic now with some headshots of their own manages to take out Star as well, but Boosted Boys managed to get out to try and regroup.
Absolutely, and I love this upper perch here that they're taking, but I think that we're going to see a bit of a interior pathing coming from Boosted Boys, taking a page out of what Oblivion did to get themselves onto the point, but they're going to have to win a team fight here to really stop the progress of the payload, even though it's not even moving right now.
It indeed just halted. The rotation comes through, and the Bob as well. Halt pulls everyone from Oblivion together, though, as the Immortality field gets taken out for both teams. The Bob just peppering down damage from on high, though, as the rest comes on in. Now you've got the Boosted Boys with a distinct advantage for this fight, though. No, Bello with 4 for the Sigma. Make sure that that advantage is gone and in favor of Oblivion.
Oh my goodness, what a huge flux coming out of Mello there. Everybody in a small, tight quarters, and he just lifted them and sent them back to spawn neatly as you like. Really smart use there. They let it out with the amplification matrix, and that pulled out Gregalos's immortality barrier, and then he was free to let them go.
The Gravitic Fox comes in from Star, only picks up one Malabello on the floor, but Gregalos once again taken out. Linksy, the Ash from Oblivion, just getting shot after shot. Get one trade, but that doesn't seem to be enough. The rest still comes on through onto Gregalos, so you're gonna have a bit of sustain. Payload is now moving forward by way of Star, though you are still down one member, and a 5v6 fight is not really one you want to take, Billy.
No, and I think right now the biggest difference between the two teams is the fact that Boosted Boys are running with this Mercy. So even if they do get one of those fortunate picks, they have the res available into them instantly almost, depending on where the kill comes through. And now the progress is being made with this payload. They do get Brinolad back, so that's going to be something that they have.
Well, they're also going to have a few kills, Manic indeed, with the Dynamite, as well as the Amplification Matrix that came on through, providing for all that extra damage. The rally from the Brigitte is on point, but eventually also that's going to get denied, so the cleanup will come on in. With 2 minutes left, there's going to be a bit of time bank added on top of that to a total of approximately 3.5 minutes for the Boosted Boys to try and get that full push.
So the pull that Ninja did to get everybody off the high ground is what really led the beginning of the end of that fight. We're going to have dueling butlers here as far as contestation of the point. But I think that Resurrection's first Dragons that's going to come out needs to split off the team and really draw out the immortality field from Rabu.
Well, that's one Bob. There's not another Bob coming on out as Linksy just takes a bullet to the dome. Manic with a double kill coming on through. Your forces out immortality field early as well. That is not what you want to see as the defense, as this payload just kind of keeps moving on forward. These slow picks is not what you want to have happen. You want to get either a full team wipe or just a full reset.
And, you know, while they were securing kills, they have now allowed Oblivion to get a last-minute recontest here, getting all their ducks in a row. They're going to have to contest soon. Otherwise, it's going to be lights out and 2-0 in favor of Boosted Boys.
Dragon coming in from one side as the Gravitic Flux with the Valkyrie for the other. 2 picks in favor of the blue team. Linksy once again trying, but will that be enough? Well, it might very well be 3 picks in favor of the red team's Ash, with just 2 supports and a tank available for the offense. Not going to be easy to try and keep this point going. A dragon coming straight from Thrall across the point, forcing a few players off. However, Mellow still contesting the point just too close, and the kills are in favor of the defense. The Boosted Boys did not manage to get the full push just yet.
And once again, you know, looking at Mellow hunting down the Mercy to make sure that no reses were available, I think that's a very smart play. Coming from your RF tank from Oblivion, Ninja is going to have the supercharger online as they come back to contest this point as we cross 90 seconds left in the map. Brenolad will be able to counter back with a couple of headshots. I think that the rally is going to be the biggest ability to beef up the team from Oblivion as they aggress and try to take this defense and hold them here.
Gregolas gets taken out, the rest comes on through, and now Lingsy, who seems to be a very strong player for the red team, gets taken out. That is the rest of Oblivion getting dealt with. Rally still gets used, but the amplification ring is going to make sure that these supports in this tiny room are going to be taking all of the damage. Payload moving forward, just 0.2 meters to go, and that will be the Boosted Boys picking up their second victory in this series, making the next map match point.
Indeed, and this will be for a spot in the GGEU finals. And, you know, looking at the difference there between the two teams, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Mercy difference, question mark? Just the fact that the res available from hero picks really swung battles back into the favor of Boosted Boys time and time again, as you were able to get that downed hero back into the fray. And I don't think that they really paid enough attention to hero picks and denying res. That's something that's going to have to be in the back of the minds of Oblivion as they go down 0-2 here in our semifinals. And I think that we're going to take it to a quick break, but you folks don't go away.
So you queue up for Overwatch Ranked, only to be greeted by this, which then leads to this, and oh no, Reinhardt, what are you doing? The solution? ELO Hell pickup games.
Walk up.
Hey, you know what? Just fucking do it. Do it.
Oh my god, it's huge! Oh,
Kill, 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 kill!
let's go, let's go, let's go!
Open to players of all ranks and most platforms, Pugs give you the chance to experience competitive Overwatch as it was meant to be played. Competitively.
I need help, I need help.
I'm with you, I'm with you.
Shoot.
No way, dude.
Go. Let's go. Nice. Good call.
Players set their icons to indicate the role they want to play, then 2 captains pick their teammates and draft the most competitive teams they can. You can also take part in our pioneering learning event, Coached Pugs. To take part, join the ELO Hell Pickup Games Discord, and be sure to read the Pug Guide and FAQ. Good luck, have fun, and we'll see you in-game.
Hello and welcome back to Elo Health GitGud Season 5 console semi-finals. Oblivion versus the Boosted Boys, and we are now 2-0 for the Boosted Boys, which means we are at match point for the Boosted Boys. I will still be your play-by-play caster, Belly, with me the amazing Chef Billy on the color seat, and the Boosted Boys is looking to clear this one on out with the map pick of King's Row here for Oblivion.
Yeah, and they've decided that they want to go onto the attack our Boosted Boys. So I think they're wanting to flex their muscles and really assert their dominance and put up a strong time here against Oblivion. Oblivion looking a little flat there coming through the last part of Junkertown. And I said it before, I'm going to say it again. The mercy difference right now, I think, is really the only thing separating these two teams, because Lynxy is putting Oblivion on their back. We were talking about it during our little break there. And yeah, it was very it's very unfortunate that not enough of the picks are going in the way of Oblivion once Lynxy gets the 2 or 3 kills that they get. There's just not enough support to support Lynxy. And I think maybe having their own mercy might help benefit that. Otherwise, maybe bringing out a different healer, something to really enable Lynxy to do what Lynxy has been doing to Boosted Boys all afternoon and evening. But they are on match point. And as we head into King's Row, we are going to see Boosted Boys go onto the offense. So Oblivion's going to have to make a major stand here, Belly. And we've seen them pull out the double shield variant, and they were actually very good on it. I think that V Mystic needs to bust out the Genji, though, and the Katana, and really deal with the back line of Boosted Boys. Otherwise, this is going to be a pretty quick afternoon.
I mean, that is absolutely the thing, but as you mentioned earlier, I want to kind of touch on this mercy pick absolutely as well. Hero picks being able to get those reses off so consistently that this gives you an extra player on the board that Oblivion needs to deal with every single time, just undoing the resources that you spend on getting a kill. So that is very much indeed a big pick. I did also wonder whether V Mystic is going to be playing that Genji. It looks like Lynxy might be doing that. Booster Boys going for Ryan Zarya, having the Pharah up in the air, and more a Hanzo play with an Ana to back up that front line.
So we're going to have the Manic show again, as we saw them dominate on Lijiang on our control map. And, I mean, looking at the defense that's coming out from Oblivion right now, Belly, you've got Ryan Zarya with the Ana and Baptiste, and then you've got Genji and Ashe. Ashe is going to have to put in a really significant performance here to deal with Manic in the sky.
Absolutely, Oblivion indeed now is set up. Boosted Boys coming out of spawn. That Pharah will be in the air. And as the damage is already coming out, the sleep does not connect, and that means that Manic is still going to be able to keep pumping on damage. ER is the first to drop. V Mystic goes soon after. The Boosted Boys are clearing up this first point, are gonna be picking up that capture in nearly record time.
I mean, there was no contest. They did not, I don't think they accounted for Manic coming out like that and just getting into their face and just spraying the rockets down. 5 minutes 50 seconds to get through Streets phase, and already look at the ultimate differences between the two squads as you see Resonations just laying in some nice downrange fire from the bow. Manic almost 70% to their barrage, and I'm not sure how they're going to be able to take care of Manic in the sky. We have seen Mystic swap over to the McCree, so there is a natural counter right there. But Gregolas with the nades are going to be able to keep up their team pretty darn well.
Herapix gets taken out by Lynxy, who is away, and Spawn actually is going to try to spawn camp the Mercy, while Manic is still capable of just keeping the damage going from up on high. That's going to be a Barra sticking out the support backline. So even if you lose the Pharah here, you got Lynxy still in the backline to just try and deny that space. Trying to pick up the one support, trying to pick up the second. Mercy manages to super jump away, gets a hammer to the side of the face. Now with the Boosted Boys moving on forward.
Yep, and that was all set up by Manic's barrage, even though being taken down by ER on the Baptiste, you don't have much in the tank still. You have the amplification matrix to set up maybe here in the corner and stop the progress coming from Boosted Boys, but Resonations has a Dragons available.
Well, you're already not going to have to deal with ER, that Immortality Field now off the board as the Sonic Arrow. Make sure that you know exactly that the enemy is back to spawn. Mystic also getting taken out as the Reinhardt drops to the floor. The payload moves forward. It's nearly 6 minutes on the clock, Billy.
There has never really been a halt of this payload as it's gone through the streets. Brinolad trying to do what they can on the Rhine, and you know, we're going to have both tank ultimates in this next fight. Pulse Bomb may be able to get into the back line and really disrupt the healer core, and that might be something that they're looking to do. But almost a 6-pack of ultimates available to the side from Boost Boys.
What are you even gonna do against that? You just get grabbed up, and there's just so much damage coming on through. There's just nothing that you can do against it unless you've already been playing a Zen or a Lucio now, as Lynx is just trying to get out. It's not gonna manage. And it's going to be a question whether Oblivion is even going to be able to properly contest here. There's going to be a Hamlet coming on point. The Shadow comes on out. That gets blocked with the barrage from on high. We've got some trades coming in. The Ana is down, but the rest comes through. Manic still pumping on damage on the fire. Dropping low, dropping dead. Now you've got these very annoying characters on the Hammond and the Tracer being able to keep this point contested for so long, as the supports and tanks are just waiting for the respawns to come on through. Melo gets taken out. The Lucio is on point. Also dealt with rapidly. A nice pulse bomb onto Gregolas as Brunelab comes charging into the backline with the Nano. Picks up 2. We've got the solo Zarya on point trying to push it. Manages to pick up a kill, but no, the Reinhardt in the backline clears this out.
Talk about last minute heroics. Naga with a massive nano boost, and then throwing the nade out and connecting with 3. The pin from Brinolad, absolutely huge. Stops the aggression for now. Ultimate's being built up on both sides again. Mystic has decided to mirror Manic and has a barrage on line belly.
Is indeed going to be one to have to deal with, as of Ninja trying to push on forward, just forcing the enemy front line back. Manic taking a bit of damage of herself. Resonation's also dropping quite low. There's going to be a Valkyrie coming on out. The Shatter does not land. That's going to be blocked off as Naga drops. Mystic goes down as well, so the Barra is now denied. A Shatter from Ninja comes on. And as the grab is there, that will be a quick cleanup. Even the High Charge Zarya will not be enough. A Dragon across the point, across the spawn. Going to deny the recontest, and that is a pie-sized time bank for the Boosted Boys.
Yeah, they served all the cake they could give them there, and yes, and I mean the pie is in the details. 3.14 for all of you non-nerds out there. I totally got where you're going with that too. I'm actually proud of myself. But that's going to be a daunting task for Oblivion to meet. That is a huge time bank that Boosted Boys have put up on them. I did like the swaps that were coming out from Oblivion there, though, via Mystic gaining a very quick barrage. I just don't think that, you know, they ever really sat their feet again after, you know, the Wonder Pin from Brinolad. And connecting on that, they never set their feet after that engagement. And Ninja on the Reinhardt, absolutely bullying Brinolad and just pushing into his face and swinging his hammer almost with impunity, having hero picks giving him the healing boost as he was going in there and just wreaking havoc with the hammer. This is going to be a tough ask. There's no doubt about that. But I think that Oblivion, if they come out and they focus targets and they really get it down, I think that they might be able to maybe meet the time that was put up by Boosted Boys.
And you're gonna have to essentially free push 2 points to get a chance of that. That's gonna be the question, whether Oblivion has the pedigree behind them to do that. Boosted Boys taking some defensive positioning around Hotel. Oblivion now with the speed boost goes straight in. A nice bubble though, but SF Ninja dropping quite low now, drops dead. Stardust traded out, so both of the main tanks are gone. Once again, a trade, both Zarya's has been dealt with, but Hero picks once again with the res. Star is back, Star is high charge, and Star is looking for kills. Picks up 2 here, is looking for some more, but this Tracer is gonna have trouble to get out, gets slapped and dealt with.
And once again, it's the Mercy difference. We've been calling it since the first map, the res. I mean, there were 3 members of Oblivion around the Mercy, and the Mercy just went in there just as casual as you like and rezzed up Stars, and Stars laid into everybody. That high charge Zarya is something that you have to be worried about at all times. That is a nice pick from Linksy there. On to Resonations.
Very nice pick. That could be an opening here as the High Noon comes on through. Does not pick up anything. Pulse Bomb in the backline. Also no value, but the boop here comes in. So Hero Pix is not going to be able to res anything on that. So even the Nano Reinhardt is just going to get burned down. The Boosted Boys, after a couple, the Oblivion, after a couple of fights, managed to pick up point A.
Yep, and it did cost them a little bit into it. Manic going ahead, I'm sorry. It did cost them a little bit going into it, the Shatter and the Nano Boost, but you're going to have Blade available. You're coming up close on a sound barrier that's going to be able to keep them up through the streets phase, but Ninja does have Shatter available, and we've seen what happens when a Shatter is laid down by Ninja. Manic seems to come in and clean up everybody with the aerial threat.
Well, there's not going to be a Tracer threat here as the arrow lands. He's trying to deal with the Pharah up on high, but that's not going to be easy. Inflect comes on out early as well. Now it's going to be a very aggressive hold here, a very early hold by the Boosted Boys to just hold this choke here. KJ Ninja will be the next to drop. Got the Soldier on a point for Oblivion to try and deal with the Pharah, but for that, you first need to get to the Pharah.
Indeed. I mean, that's a good quick pick there from Linksy. But once again, Rez again.
Just denied every time the graph comes on through, and so do the kills. You got Linksy in the backline just trying to put the team on their back, but it's just not enough, really.
Coming into the next fight, you're going to have Blade still available. I think they're waiting for Naga's Nano Boost to come up. And then the Grav available to Mellow Bellow. I think that if you can go grab Dragon into it. They need to take care of Manic first. That is the first thing that needs to be dealt with.
You're not going to be able to do that when you're on the floor, though. Now 3 picks. The Barrage picks up 1, but that's not enough. Linksy is going to pick up a few kills of the road, and as Oblivion clears this point on off, we are now at the 3-minute mark. The boost as Oblivion moves on forward.
Absolutely, and you still have you're going to have the Shatter available from Brinolad, and then you have Nano Boost available from Naga. So I think maybe using that either to help get Linksy closer to a Blade, or maybe getting Mystic to a Tac Visor, the way to go. Or you can keep up Brino as he's starting to get a little bit more aggressive and dealing with Ninja.
Well, that's going to be a very aggressive Reinhardt. 2 nanos and a fat Shatter. That's going to be a massive there to clear this point off for Oblivion. That's going to be 5 kills here. And Reinhardt on fire.
Yeah, that was exactly what they needed. I mean, they could theoretically get close to the time right now. Mellow Bellow putting in a pretty darn good performance on this Zarya. But you're going to have to watch out from Resonation's Dragons as they come out into the defense here, depending on where he lays them through. Hero Pix does have Valkyrie to get himself up into the air and deal with the aggression coming in.
Sneaky Linksy being the ninja that they are. Looking to get this pick onto the Hanzo, but with Mercy attached, that's going to be a rough ask here. The defense does get halted here as we are now nearing an equal time bank for both Oblivion and Boosted Boys.
Absolutely, and Gregolas is now swapped over to the Brigitte. So that is your main source of healing if you are Boosted Boys. Tac is available for via Mystic. I want to see how he deploys this. Manic has swapped over to the Ashe and now almost has Bob available already.
Mix is gonna pop a Visor, is gonna take a shield bash to deny a bit of space from that. Manic once again with this dynamite picks up ER. Shatter comes down, does not land, and Ninja is gonna get taken out for it as well. Now, as the immobile health beacon from the soldier is just moving around with the payload, got started, the backline gets antied. Pulls out the bomb as well. The dragon, though, with that grab, will be the cleanup that they need. With everyone down, they only need 2 people, Hanzo and Azaria.
How the heck did they coordinate that in that small amount of time? Because Stars had just gotten it. My goodness, that should have been a fight win for Oblivion. Smart last-second maneuverability from Stars and Resonation, stopping the attack as quick as you like.
As Oblivion comes in for the recontest, a lot of opportunities to take this fight. That's going to be the Dragon Blade coming in along with a Nano. That's 1 pick. That's the second. Looking for the third. Looking for another target, but with 4 players down, this is going to be a challenge to even get the recontest. They will not. Oblivion does manage to get the full push, which means the dream is real.
The dream is real, and I mean, you know, they are doubled almost in their time. But there is the potential. I've seen stranger things happen on Kings Row. I've seen people come out, or teams come out with 1 minute, and they pick up 6 points. So if we see that same level of cohesion that we saw from Oblivion there, I think that Boosted Boys might have a bit of issues on their hands, as Manic not really providing as much pop-off potential as we saw happening in the previous 2 maps. And, you know, hero picks not getting the same kind of reses going through that we saw in the previous map. So maybe they are focusing a little bit more on hero picks.
Very well might be now, as we indeed don't actually swap the sides. Oblivion with the lower time bank are going to have to attack again. Just try and get the point. The Boosted Boys have gotten a very good early contest off. So this could potentially look like a hold on point A, and that's going to be the question as Oblivion. You do not want to have that happen.
No, absolutely not. You don't want that happening at all. And, you know, they took the first point, Oblivion did, very quickly. There was a little bit of a delay, but they started the payload going through after about 45 seconds, I believe. So looking at what we're going to see from Lynxie and Mystic, if they can get the rotations and really enable their Rhine to get around the corner and start shielding and letting them do their job, I think that's where we're going to see them really pull out some good moves here.
Let's get the Hanzo popping out damage from behind. But it's going to be a Resonations that picks up the early kill onto the main healer here for the offense. We've got actually a nice pick here onto Manic. The question is, will the rest come on through? Because this is not a very favorable position. Another kill for V Mystic on the Ash. Gets another nice headshot here. We've got the Hanzo to the side, but no, this will be Oblivion picking up point A. Trying to get those last straggle picks off.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you know, that took 45 seconds. Just the same as their first attack coming through. And now Snowball will be looking pretty good here, as almost everybody is at 60% or more on their ultimate charge. Manix right now is going to have to be dealt with as they are just really raining in these rockets uncontested. And, you know, Mystic took them out of the sky before. Let's see if they can do it again.
As the question, taking a bit of damage here. The Pharah is going to have to play safe. This is now where the regroup comes on through, but the barrage is online for Manic. That's going to be a nano on the Pharah. That's going to be 1 kill, looking for a few more. Picks up the Zarya as well. And with that, it seems like the damage might have been done. It is 10 seconds on the clock in the moment, and Oblivion still have to get some form of recontest.
Absolutely. You're going to be looking at Resonation's dragons to really stall out the point. Mystic going over, but they're not even going to be able to touch. So there is your win condition set, ladies and gentlemen out there. You have that progress to make. You have 3 minutes and 14 seconds. You've got a pie shares chance in the world to get what you need out of this and secure your spot in the final. So it's going to be a daunting task. We saw both teams take the first point in their respective attack rounds very quickly. And we saw it happen again from Oblivion. They just got stalled out. The ultimate advantage, even though in their favor, the nanoed barrage with a mercy pocket, that just really sealed the deal. And Manic once again putting the team on their back. So win condition set, Belly. We're going to have to see what kind of defense Oblivion will bring out.
That is going to be the question. The boosted boys with a time bank big enough to get that victory cake. And Oblivion wanting to deal with the Pharah to the best of their ability. Lynxie is going to be playing out the McCree, seems like. And once again, also bringing out the Pharah of their own. At the very least, going to be an aerial battle. Resonation's not going to be picking up that hit scan as of yet, though. I mean, at this point, why would you? Those Graph Dragons have been finding so much value so far.
Absolutely, and actually, we've seen Resonations take out the Pharah as well. I think their focus has to be where are they going to aggress into? How are they going to deal with the aerial threat?
That's the question. Manic already pumping out some damage. V Mystic a bit more, already 35% to that first ultimate. But no, it's going to be Lynxie dropping, so now Manic has full free reign. The res gets denied by a nice concussive blast. The aerial battle as well. Manic being a maniac in the air. Smelabella does get a trade out, however, it does not seem to be enough. Brinola drops low, drops dead. And that will be Boosted Boys picking up the point with approximately 2.5 minutes remaining to get to this golden victory box.
Absolutely, and look at this aggression being shown by Manic, showing no fear whatsoever, taking the aerial duel with V Mystic, and using that concussive blast to get out of danger very nicely. Manic's passing Mystic in the barrage ultimate playoff, as it were. Oh my gosh!
That is just continuous death being rained from up on above. Manic will get a barrage at the ready. There's no res available. It's a 6v5 fight, and Manic is hovering like a hawk, ready to bring the destruction. And Oblivion needs to spot this one out. The nano comes on in. That's going to be the barrage bursting through the shield, but no, that gets slapped. A bubble to keep the Pharah alive, but that's not going to be enough. So the barrage was not enough. Shatter comes on down, but no follow-up is there. There's less than 2 minutes to go. Boosted Boys are forced to pull back.
Yeah, and now we've looked at Lacey swap over to the Ashe, getting a lot of value already on this. You're going to have to really depend on Grab Dragons. I think that's your next win condition, and Melabella's going to have their own grab to deal with it. Also, Mystic is going to have Barrage ready to go.
It's indeed a matter of playing the safe. The barrage comes on out, and I do like the fact that the Boosted Boys plays that very conservatively. They just let Oblivion burn down ultimates, and now the Boosted Boys have got that Graph Dragon up.
Indeed they do, and Gregolas putting in a lot of work on this Ana, keeping up the main tanks and also trying to keep an eye in the sky for Manic as well. Ninja, laying down nice fire strikes into the middle of all this chaos going on, and we're just going to have to wait and see how much this Grab Dragon's going to get usage out of.
Stars looking for the team wipe, but it is very well positioned here from the defense. The Dragon comes on through. Brinola taking a fair chunk of damage. Alabella gets taken out, but the Nano comes in for the Reinhardt, keeping that one alive. Gregolas gets taken out. The charge to deny a lot of value for the Nano from the defense. However, is that enough? Shadow comes in. Resonations picks up another kill. 2 players are on the floor, but we've got Star still on the Zarya with the support to back it on up. The kills are there, and that will be the Boosted Boys picking up their 3rd map, the victory in the semifinals, and a one-way ticket to the grand finals.
I mean, that's all that you would ask for. That was a singularly dominating performance coming out of Boosted Boys here in our GGEU Season 5 semifinals. There is the pin of destiny that I loved. The Wunder pin, really stopping the bleeding coming from Boosted Boys there in Kings Row. But man, what a standout performance. I've got to say, Manic all day, putting the team on their back. And, Hero Picks is the unsung hero. Even though we've mentioned their name quite a bit, this pharmacy duo really putting in the work all day. Hero Picks getting so many crucial reses when you thought that a fight was going to turn. I'm actually going to name that person my player of the match, Hero Picks.
That is very fair. If I'm then going to pick a player of, at the very least, the... unfortunately, losing team for them, unfortunately, it is definitely going to be Lynxie, who more often than not really tried to put the team on their back, but in the end does unfortunately did not seem to be enough. but a very good attempt here from Oblivion, especially that King's Row map. There was still the dream was still real. Unfortunately, in the end, the dream did not come true.
I know that there's another semifinal going on right now, Kybade versus, and I'm forgetting who the other team is playing right now, but that will be they will be waiting to see who they are going to face in the finals. That will happen tomorrow, I believe.
Let me check the schedule because I've got that right here. We do indeed have some finals coming in tomorrow, for as far as I'm aware. At the very least for EU, NA still has a bit of stuff to go, but yes, there should be EU finals coming in tomorrow.
Well, I mean, I think that's pretty much all we can say here. It's a pretty dominating performance from Boosting Boiis, taking the 3-0 win in the semifinals here. Belly, always great to cast with you, sir.
It is always a pleasure to cast with you as well, and I want to close it out again for me at the very least, because for me, this was my run here for casting GitGud this season, also for console. So yes, I will not be showing up for any of the other casts anymore, I'm afraid to say. So I, at the very least, do want to throw out a few thank yous here for the production we had tonight. Demon's Druid on the buttons, Bullskunk as usual for the console camera work, Billy for the co-casting. We've got some amazing mods in chat. Show your mods some love every single time. Connor on for the lobby hosting, getting everything set up. To make sure that everything stays running. So all the love to all those people. So everyone who's viewing, send some love to all those people. There will also be some tweets coming out soon to show that love, show your appreciation, give those some likes, because there's a lot of people involved in this to make this all running. So all of the love going around to everyone involved. And with that, indeed, that's going to be us signing off. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to tune in later for NA console GitGud, and then tomorrow as well for you and both NA console GitGud. And as usual, I always want to sign off with the wise words of Brian W. Foster. Don't forget to love each other. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next time.